the story of the flight into Egypt. Pictures help tell the story of the life of Jesus. When many of the pictures we're going to see were painted, most people could not read or write. Pictures help the church tell the story of his life. Last week, our story, The Mystery of Christmas, ended with this picture of the Holy Family and their flight into Egypt. Let's remember what happened before the Holy Family had to escape from Egypt. This is the picture of the adoration of the Magi who followed the star to Bethlehem. See Mary, Joseph, and her baby? See the three Magi with their gifts and the star that the wise man followed to find where Jesus would be. There is a camel there that looks kind of like a donkey. See his long ears? The artist knew only what people had told him, that camels had long legs and a hub, but he had to guess on what their heads looked like. See the halos? They were painted with real gold in the paint, and they help the artists let us know who they think is holy. Here is another artist who painted a different picture of the adoration of the Magi. Notice how the pictures are different. The Holy Family and Magi are there, but there are no halos, no star, and the people are different. Do you see other differences? Artists need to use their imaginations to tell a story that took place over 2,000 years ago, because no one really knows exactly what the stable, the Magi, or the Holy Family looked like. We know some things because they were written down, but mostly the artists had to use their imaginations. I wonder what you have in your picture, what you would have in your picture if you were the artist. Off in the distance, I see a castle. I wonder if it is the castle of King Herod. I wonder who are the horsemen that are coming down the hill in the distance. Do you see them riding their horses? Now the Magi followed a special star to the east, and when they reached the land near Bethlehem, they stopped in to see King Herod. They hoped to find out where they could find the Holy Child. Here is a picture of King Herod and the Magi. The Magi asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." King Herod pretended to want to worship the new baby. He asked the Magi to come back and tell him where he could find the baby king. What King Herod really wanted was to find the child so that he could kill him. He wanted to make sure he was the only king. The Magi followed the star and found Jesus in Bethlehem. But the Magi never returned to King Herod. They were warned in a dream and went home another way. When the Magi did not return, King Herod was angry. Many of the words of the prophets are written down in different books of the Old Testament. King Herod wanted to know where to find the baby king, so he asked his scholars to search for the place in those scriptures that would tell him where that would be. They told King Herod that it would be Bethlehem, as it is written, "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Without the Magi, Herod could not know exactly where in Bethlehem to find the child. Then Herod did a terrible thing. He had his soldiers find and kill all of the children under 2 in the area of Bethlehem. This terrible event is called the slaughter of the innocents. This is how this artist painted the mothers. See their eyes, they are so sad, they are weeping. The prophecy says, a voice is heard in Ramah, mourning and great weeping. Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. But Jesus did not die. Joseph was warned in a dream to take Jesus to Egypt. The prophecy says, when Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. We do not know much about the flight into Egypt and nothing of the life of Jesus during that time. However, many artists have painted pictures about this. Here is a picture with Joseph leading a donkey that has Mary and the baby Jesus. Many pictures of the flight to Egypt look similar to this. Look at their clothes. They are very nice. And Joseph has shoes on his feet. Look at this picture. Look at Joseph. In this picture, Joseph has no shoes, and Mary and the baby are wrapped in a plain blanket. Here is another picture of the flight to Egypt. Mary looks worried in this picture. I wonder who the other faces in the picture are. Here is a map. And watch where I'm pointing my pointer. That's Nazareth. And below Nazareth is Bethlehem. And that's where Jesus was born. Now, when King Herod scared them, they had to escape along the best route. And it probably would have been the route along the coast where there was a road. Some people say they went all the way to Alexandria. That would be over 300 miles, a very long journey by foot and donkey. No matter where they went in Egypt, it would have been a long and difficult trip. This is a picture of Mary and Joseph resting on their journey. Do you see Joseph in the background looking for firewood and food? The baby Jesus is eating some grapes. This picture makes me feel safe. They're resting and peaceful. I wonder how it makes you feel. This picture shows how a trip across a large desert can be scary. Water can run out, and it can be hard to find food. Sometimes animals and people die. Joseph looks very thin in this picture, as if he had not had enough to eat. This painting shows mountains and snow. It's getting dark. Where will they sleep tonight? Here they are crossing the water. Maybe it's the Nile. They were escaping King Herod and his murdering army and would have had to leave in a hurry. They could only bring a few things. Each artist is painting the story in a different way. Finally, they arrive. What do they do now? How do they find a place to live? How long did they live in Egypt? We do not know. Finally, King Herod died, and his son, Antipas, became the new king. When Joseph learns that Herod is dead, the family then prepares to make the long journey back to Nazareth. This is a picture of Nazareth, and we know this is where Jesus lived and grew to be a man. He was born in Bethlehem, then came out of Egypt to later be called a Nazarene. And many believe this fulfilled all the prophecies. We do not know what really happened to Jesus and his family in Egypt. We do know that many people identify with this story, which is the symbol of escape from a terrible threat and survival. Maybe that is why there are so many pictures of this story that bring people hope and are still being made today. I wonder what your picture would look like.